Okay, so I had no idea that Ultraman Rising was even coming out. It was like a shadow drop to me. But as I was getting ready to go to sleep, I saw that a movie called Ultraman was on Netflix, and I was like, surely that's not like the Ultraman movie. So then I looked at it, and I saw that it was brand new and that it came out June the 14th, which at the recording of this video, that was yesterday. Now, I've been a big fan of Ultraman since I was a little kid, and my first time even hearing about Ultraman was from Godzilla vs. Ultraman. My mom had introduced me to it as a kid, and then I just fell in love with them ever since, and that's also was my first time seeing a Godzilla movie as well. So my first time seeing Ultraman was also the first time of me seeing Godzilla, and ever since then, I've just loved any kind of kaiju movie or any kind of kaiju show. So finding out that there was a new Ultraman movie, I was excited. So I decided to watch it like immediately. At first I was gonna wait till the morning, but then I was like, you know, I'm not sleepy yet, so let's give it a shot. And I'm glad that I did, because this was a great movie. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, I love Ultraman, but this was a great movie. This Ultraman movie is animated, so that might turn some people off, but for me, I'm okay with it obviously because, you know, I watch things like anime, so it didn't really bother me at all. But if you give this movie a chance, I promise you'll enjoy it. This movie had me in all kinds of emotions. You know, I was annoyed with the characters, I felt sorry for the characters, I was sad for some characters. It was like a big roller coaster for me. And that's the good thing, you know, especially coming from an animated movie, because it's kind of hard to show emotions through a lot of animated movies, but they did a really good job with this. The setup with this is the main character comes back from America and he goes to Japan. Your main character is a baseball player, so now he has to juggle playing baseball and also his life as Ultraman. As you can tell, that's pretty difficult because, you know, being a famous baseball player and then also having to be this superhero that everyone looks up to is going to be kind of hard to juggle that. So they show that a lot in this movie. They don't show it to the point where it kind of gets annoying, but they do show enough to let you know, like, hey, you know, he's having to balance this along with having to be a superhero. But then they add in another element to this as well. Not only does he have to balance on being a superhero and also a baseball player, but he now has to add on being a, you know, father figure to this baby kaiju. Without saying too much, he ends up having to take care of this baby kaiju and he's taking it in as his own, and some other people are trying to basically capture this baby. So as you can tell, this becomes very difficult for him, especially since he doesn't really have his father in his life, which is another element that they're capturing. The theme of this movie is supposed to be forgiveness and like family, because it deals with family a lot, and then it also deals with kids. So as Kenji, who's your main character, is trying to balance all this other stuff, he's also having to balance, you know, his relationship with his father that he's basically trying to rebuild. Since he's been gone for so long, you know, it becomes very difficult for him. So that's basically what this Ultraman movie is about. And like I said, you know, I wasn't expecting this movie at all, so I didn't even bother watching a trailer for it. But you know, this movie is great. You know, if you have the time, I would go ahead and watch it. It's about 2 hours long, but it doesn't really feel long, which is a good thing. When I finished with the movie, I was like, oh, I want to see more. You know, what else is to come? Are they gonna make a sequel? Well, like, I wanna see more of Ultraman. Especially in this style, because the animation for this movie was really good. Like, I feel like they really took their time in making this movie because the animation was clean, the story was really good, the soundtrack was also really good. And it isn't one of those movies that are just happening just to happen, because the story really does make sense. And all the other things that he's having to balance ends up connecting to each other, which I really like. So they pay really attention to detail when making this story. This movie is on Netflix, so you don't have to go to a theater to go and see it. And this is a Netflix release, so if you have a subscription, why not give it a shot? I don't really have any issues with this movie. There wasn't really anything that bothered me too much. The only thing that I would say that what might bother me a little bit was at first, you know, you really don't care for Kenji. Like, he starts off as an asshole, and it's like, why am I supposed to care for this guy? He's the main character, he's an asshole, he's rude to everyone, and he's not taking his job seriously. So it's like, I'm not liking this guy. But you quickly start to understand why he feels the way that he does, and they don't, you know, hold on to it for too long, because if they did it for a bit longer, then I probably would have shut the movie off. But luckily they don't stick on it too long, and it all tends to make sense, and he does change, so he has some really great character development. And it's not just him, there are other characters in this movie who I won't spoil. I just want you guys to go ahead and watch it. But there are other characters in this movie who have great character development as well. So given the 2-hour runtime, I think they did a really good job of character development for each character in this movie. Even some of the Kanju had some really great character development. So would I recommend this movie for everyone? Yes, I mean, it's a really good movie. You can show your kids the movie. There's nothing bad in it. I mean, it's an animated PG-13 movie. There's like one cuss word in here, and that's about it. Everything else is perfectly fine. Like I said, there's no issues with the movie. So everything else with the movie is great. I mean, it's definitely a family movie, so you don't have to worry about, there being anything in here that you can't show your kids. The violence isn't too much. There's a lot of action, but the violence isn't crazy. So you can definitely show your kids. You can show your family members. So you can show just about anybody this movie and everyone will have a great time. So like I said, I highly recommend watching this movie, especially if you have the time, you might as well. It's on Netflix, so it's about 2 hours long, and it really doesn't feel like 2 hours. I expected it to feel a lot longer than it did. Well guys, did you end up watching Ultraman Rising? What did you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments down below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified each time I upload a new video, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one.
Sunway review, take me on a cinematic journey through the highs and the lows. You bring movies to